I say this because those of us remember the Republican Party in this country has contributed much to this nation. They have been there. Look, we don't always agree on some of this, but I will guarantee you, when the old Republicans talk about freedom, they meant it. They meant it. Now, these guys, Donald Trump, turns out when he's talking about freedom, that government should be free to be in your doctor's office, to be in that school library, or to be pretty obsessed about being in your bedroom. I would argue the party of Ronald Reagan would want government out of all of those things. Now look, Donald Trump is out there telling folks they return to power, don't worry about your reproductive freedoms. I got it. I got it. He told all the women here, he told you he would be your protector. So the other day in that little debate I mentioned, they're kind of factoring this Project 2025's, they want to monitor of women's pregnancies. And I saw Senator Vance, there were a couple moments of clarity where he said, well, people just don't trust us on these things, you know. And that's where my wife is really happy. Some of you saw me face on this. I almost blurted out, no, you know, no kidding. No kidding. Look, to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, women don't trust you. And I heard some of you, I know this is a Nevada golden rule. The very simple thing on so many of these things that make the world go round is just mind your own damn business and things will go better. I don't want to speak for the Republicans here, but I got to feel like that's a mantra of the old Republican Party. Just mind your own business on this. And for some of you, it gets very personal. And look, there are women out there that don't want to have, their names are household names now because they nearly died trying to avoid these Trump abortion bans. And for me, and for so many of you out there, they're going another step further, banning things like fertility treatments. Those are our decisions. Those are our decisions to make. Whatever family you want to have, or no family, or whatever that family looks like, that's your decision, not government's decision. And I certainly don't want Donald Trump making that decision. So for Gwen and I, years of infertility treatment. And when we had access to health care, which all of us need. So if you have health care, you have access to that. Finally, on that day, our daughter was born. Some of you have heard me say this, most spoke to me. And that's what this election is about. It's about freedom. And I want to make that appeal again. The party of Reagan needs to stand on personal freedoms, not with Donald Trump's way of doing things. When Kamala Harris talks about freedom, she means your freedom to make your own choices about health care, about your family, about the books you read, about the life you want to live. And I'm going to go back to this. These guys have the audacity, especially seniors here. My mom's 89. I'm so proud of her. She's still living in the house where I grew up and graduated out of high school from. She's there. And I can tell you this. She worked her whole life paying into Social Security. It was there when my dad died. It was there when my little brother's in elementary school, so my mom to provide those benefits. She uses her Social Security check to pay her bills and live her life with dignity. Now look, every year in Donald Trump's budget, he tried to cut it. Called it a Ponzi scheme. And J.D. Vance said it's the roadblock to fiscal sanity. But I'll say this, from where they're standing, that might actually make sense. Because my feeling is, I don't know, I've never been a billionaire. So if you are one, my guess is you don't give one damn if your Social Security check comes or not. But if you're my mom, it's pretty damn important that your Social Security check comes. So look. Freedom to make your health care decisions. Freedom to live in dignity in your senior years. Freedom to be there if tragedy strikes you and that there's a safety net there. We oftentimes talk about this. This is a state that you know a little something about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You know how to do that. But the thing is, sometimes in life, you don't have any boots. And they're loaned to you by Social Security. They're loaned to you by your neighbors so that you can get back on your feet. Those are the things that freedom means. And I got to tell you, this one for all of you, for all of us, this piece of freedom is the one that we should hold most dear. The freedom to send our little ones in their best clothes to school without being shot dead in their classroom. Look, there's a whole lot of you out here just like me, veterans, hunters, gun owners. A lot of you, you're here. Look, we understand the Second Amendment. We understand what that is. But we also understand this is not a discussion about the Second Amendment. We can do common sense things to withhold our first responsibility, the protection of our children. So I reject the notion that you can't protect the Second Amendment and protect our children. Other countries do it. Why can't we? Why can't we do it? Donald Trump told us to get over it, and J.D. Vance said it's a fact of life. Kamala Harris was very clear. She's the one who said it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Look, I know I'm preaching to the choir. You get it. But I also want to tell you, our recital's in 28 days, choir. And we need to sing. And when we sing, we get to turn the page on these guys. Put in a new generation of leadership with a new way forward. And we, as Americans, get the greatest privilege to self-determine where we're going, not just for the next 4 years, but the next 40 years. Not just for a single state or a single country, but the world is looking for us to bring back the values of America.